friends, how are you? I'm Shannon and we're gonna have some coffee and creativity chat this morning. So today I'm talking about being an artist and painting for work versus painting for joy. And you might think that's a really big topic to try to fit into 10 minutes. And that's why I'm just trying to keep this kind of casual and brief. And if you have other questions that come up while watching this, we can talk about it another time. Like, there's no rush. So first, I just wanted to say good morning. Grab your coffee or tea or whatever you enjoy first thing in the morning and settle in for a few minutes and let's have a chat. So this is my creative space in the front corner of my living room in my home where I live with my husband and my 2 young kids. We live in a condo, so we don't have a whole lot of space, but I have designated this space for my art, and that helps me be ready to go, ready to sit down or get back into whatever project I'm currently working on. And that has helped my ability to create more daily, more frequently, and really settle into my work and not feel like I'm working in some random space in my house. When I started painting regularly in 2020, it became very important to me to make sure I was in the mindset of this is not only something that I'm doing for joy and for my own happiness and for my own mental health, but also something that I want to do for work. You'll hear a lot of artists talk about working for money versus working for joy, doing a commission versus creating from your own place of whatever. And I just kind of want to share a little bit about my experience because I have close to 2 decades of working as a graphic designer, as a photographer, as a maker, and as a painter. So over the years, my journey has changed and evolved, but I've experienced this whole doing something for money versus doing it for, my own happiness and my own creativity and finding a balance. Not everyone wants to create for money. Some people just enjoy doing it for fun, for a hobby, for, relaxation, for whatever. And some people do want to do it to make some money, whether it's a little bit of money or a lot of money or somewhere in between. There's no wrong way to be an artist. So I want to share a little bit about what I do and how I find that balance because it's not easy and I'm always kind of tweaking how I do things to make sure I'm not getting swallowed up by projects that I am working on for money versus projects that I really want to do that speak to my heart and my creative spirit. So I'm recording this on the Monday after Thanksgiving weekend. So right at the top of my mind is Small Business Saturday, Cyber Monday, all the holiday days when you just get inundated with messages about shopping. And it's taken me years to reach this point, but I'm at a point now of I'm gonna make what I make and hopefully it sells. But I don't want to cram 80 to 90% of my sales into this very, very small part of the year. So working for myself, working for money, creating for money to get paid, to pay for my house, to put food on the table. I don't have a yacht. I don't have a vacation home. I live very simply, but I do create for money. So I have built a business around things that I enjoy making, that I enjoy painting, that I know that I'm good at. And then I also have other things that I do that at certain times in my life, I thought I would want to make these things for money and sell them on Etsy, like crocheting or sewing or other things. And I really found that it took the joy out of it for me. And I started thinking, well, if I'm spending a month crocheting something, no one's ever going to pay me a couple $100 for this thing. You have to think about things that you can do rather quickly and efficiently while still using your creativity, but also using your skills and your talents and all that time and practice you have in making something goes into your ability to produce something that you can sell pretty easily. All right. And then there's, creating for fun, for joy. Everybody should be creating something for joy. Even if you work full time doing art-related things, creative-related things, you should come home and, it could be baking, it could be coloring, it could be sitting on the couch and crocheting while you watch Netflix. It can be anything. But the importance of doing these things for joy, for your own happiness, for your own mental health and well-being is so important. So if you find yourself getting sucked into your creative work that you get paid for, and you're not finding the time to create for joy and for yourself, you got to change that. You got to put on the brakes and say, wait a second, why am I doing this? Am I happy? You got to check in with yourself. So one of the things I like to do is I will just say, okay, I'm going to spend 10 minutes or 20 minutes, whatever chunk of time that feels manageable. And I'm just going to sit down and do something for myself. Usually it's just painting something small just to get my hands busy, to get my brain thinking about what colors I want to use and things that I'm feeling. And I just kind of dig in. I put on a little playlist or I put on a timer and I just set it and I go. And that always gives me that boost. It gives me some inspiration, it lifts my spirits, and it just makes me feel good. And I think it's really important to prioritize doing that every day. Maybe it's reading, maybe it's not something creative, but when you do creative work and then you want to do creative things for yourself, it's important to separate the two and really pay attention to the things that bring you joy. But if you start thinking about making that thing that brings you joy to sell, is it going to take all the joy out of it? So for me, I know that I love painting ornaments and bookmarks and small things that I can sell, jewelry. I love drawing, coloring pages. These are things that bring me joy. They're easy for me, they're enjoyable, and I can sell them pretty easily. And then I also make my big art that sometimes it sells and sometimes it doesn't, but I don't stress about it because the paintings I make that are larger are for me. So here's today's lesson, right? Whether you want to create for money or create for joy, whatever you choose is totally up to you. It's all good. Like I said, there's no wrong way to be an artist. There are easy ways to sell your art, whether you go through Etsy or you can sell on Facebook or Instagram. There are so many avenues. You can do craft shows. You can sell to your friends and family. They might see something that you make and they just want to buy it. You don't have to go full-time, all in to be a working artist, right? There are so many working artists in the world doing amazing things, so many different things. And it's all a matter of figuring out what works for you. So for instance, my sister, she works a full-time day job, 9 to 5 during the week, but she crochets like a boss. She is amazing. She's always crocheting. Whenever I see her, we're at my parents' house for a holiday or a weekend or a pool party, she's crocheting. She's crocheting in July, but she just loves it and she does it and she makes a whole bunch of things. And then she puts them up in a Facebook album and says, this is stuff I made. If you want one of these things, make me an offer or let's do a trade. Right now, I'm gonna be starting a painting for her because she made this amazing shawl that I wanted. And I was like, hey sis, I really love that black shawl you made that has skulls. Can I paint something for you? And we can give each other things that we've made. There are so many ways to do it. And like I said, it's all good as long as you are thinking of yourself and your mental health and your well-being and finding that balance, checking in with yourself, right? And if you don't want to create for money, you don't have to. The beautiful thing about art and creativity is that anyone can make art anywhere, anytime, with anything, just because they want to, just because they're inspired, just because they're feeling it. Sitting on the beach, drawing in the sand with your fingers. Doesn't get any better than that. So I hope you enjoyed having a little bit of coffee and creativity talk with me this morning. This was really enjoyable for me, and let's do it again another day, hopefully soon. Speaking of being a full-time working artist, I am painting, it's the holiday season, and I also have a couple part-time jobs because there's no shame in working part-time jobs knowing that you're gonna get a paycheck while making your art, okay? So, like I said, there's no wrong way to be an artist. I hope you have a beautiful day. I'll talk to you soon.